Long ago, when Earth was nothing like it is today, the planet was dying. Great storms tore across the lands, oceans boiled with heat, and the skies were filled with ash and fire. The humans who lived then faced the end of their world. Civilizations fell, and the few who survived struggled to hold on. No one in the galaxy knew much about Earth at that time. To most, it was just a small, fading blue dot in the vast darkness of space, a planet doomed to disappear forever. But something unexpected happened. A powerful alien race, known as the Ilari, watched Earth from afar. The Ilari were explorers and protectors of life across many star systems. They had seen many worlds perish, but Earth's fate touched something deep within them. Though the planet seemed lost, the Ilari made a secret decision. They would save a small group of humans, a handful of survivors, before the world was destroyed. This rescue was not a grand event, but a quiet, hidden act. In the dead of night, Ilar ships descended silently to Earth's surface. They gathered the survivors, men, women, and children, those who still carried the spark of life and hope. These humans were taken far away, to a hidden place in the galaxy where they could live and grow, safe from destruction. The Ilari sealed the memory of this rescue, erasing it from the galaxy's records. Earth was forgotten. Centuries passed. On Earth, life slowly returned. The planet healed, new civilizations rose from the ashes, and humans spread across the globe. But none knew of the rescue. None remembered the near end they had escaped. The saved few had become legends, stories told by the Ilari among themselves, secret kept safe through the ages. Now in the present day, Earth had grown into a strong and vibrant world. Humans had reached far into space, building ships and exploring stars. They did not know their history or the ancient promise the Ilari had made to protect them. Earth was still considered a quiet world by many in the galaxy, not a threat, but not a power to be reckoned with either. But everything was about to change. Far beyond Earth's solar system, in the endless blackness, an alien scout ship drifted silently. Its mission was simple: to survey nearby systems and report any signs of life or technology. When it reached Earth's star system, the scout detected something unusual. Earth's technology was advanced beyond what many had believed. Ships and communications spread signals that echoed across space. The scout sent a message back to the Galactic Council, the rulers of the many worlds in the galaxy. The Council had long forgotten Earth, but this new report sparked interest and alarm. Why had Earth grown so quickly? What secrets did the planet hold? The Council's leaders debated in dark chambers, their faces hidden in shadow. Some saw Earth as a curiosity, others as a potential danger. Meanwhile, on Earth, strange events began to unfold. Scientists working at the deepest observatories detected signals unlike any they had seen. Ancient patterns, hidden codes buried, and the stars seemed to call to them. The signals were faint but unmistakable, a message, or perhaps a warning, sent across time and space in a quiet laboratory. Dr. Elena Harris stared at the flickering screens, her heart pounding. She had dedicated her life to studying the cosmos, but these signals were different. They felt alive, as if something was reaching out, trying to be found. She called her team together, and they worked day and night trying to decode the mysterious message. As they pieced the signals together, a startling truth began to emerge. The message spoke of a forgotten rescue, a story of humans taken away from a dying world, saved by an ancient alien race, and hidden away until the right time. The revelation shook Alina and her team. Could it be true? Had humanity's past been erased from memory? News of the discovery spread quickly among Earth's leaders and scientists. Some were skeptical, unwilling to believe such a strange story. Others felt a strange hope, as if the message was meant to prepare them for what was to come. Across the galaxy, the Galactic Council watched Earth's reaction closely. Their old fears stirred. The humans were no longer the lost species they thought they were. They were awakening, and with awakening came power. Back on Earth, a council of the world's top leaders met in secret. They faced a difficult choice: how to respond to the growing signs that Earth was no longer alone in. The galaxy asked attention. They knew other alien races watched them, some with friendly eyes, others with hostile intentions. Commander Michael Reyes, a seasoned officer with years of experience in space missions, stood before the council. "We have no idea what awaits us," he said, "but we must be ready. This planet, our people, we are not just survivors anymore, may hold the key to the galaxy's future." Suspense grew as Earth's space fleets were placed on high alert. Scientists pushed forward with their research into the mysterious signals, hoping to unlock the secrets of the ancient rescue and what it meant for humanity's destiny. Then, one night, the skies above Earth changed. A fleet of unknown ships appeared, not hostile but curious. They sent a message in a language unknown but filled with peaceful intent. It was the Ilari, the very race that had saved humanity so long ago. The arrival of the Ilari fleet stunned the world. Their ships were majestic, shimmering with technology far beyond human understanding. Their leaders spoke through translators, explaining the ancient rescue and the promise they had made to protect Earth's chosen few, but they also warned of a growing darkness in the galaxy, a threat that could destroy everything if not stopped. Earth's hidden past was now its greatest strength and its most dangerous secret. The question hung in the air. Was Earth ready to take its place in the galactic stage? Could the humans, once forgotten and nearly lost, rise to change the fate of the stars? As Earth looked up at the new stars that had appeared in its sky, the world held its breath. The Forgotten Rescue was not just a story of the past, it was the beginning of a new destiny, in one that would challenge everything humanity thought it knew. The galaxy was watching, and Earth was no longer alone. The arrival of the Ilari fleet had changed everything. For centuries, humans had lived unaware of their near extinction and the powerful alien race that had saved a few of their ancestors. Now, with the truth finally revealed, Earth stood on the edge of a new era. The people were eager but uncertain. Questions flooded every mind. Why had the Ilari waited so long to return? What did this ancient rescue mean for their future? And most importantly, what lay ahead in the vast, dangerous galaxy? In the days that followed, Earth scientists and leaders worked tirelessly to understand the message left by the Ilari. Among them was Dr. Elena Harris, who had first discovered the ancient signals. She led a special research team dedicated to studying the mysterious alien technology that accompanied the fleet. The Ilari shared fragments of knowledge, advanced energy sources, starship designs, and genetic secrets. But the most astonishing revelation was yet to come. Hidden deep within human DNA were dormant genes, remnants from the ancestors who had been saved long ago. These genes held incredible potential, waiting for the right moment to awaken. The Ilari explained that the humans of today were descendants of those survivors, and many carried the power to change not just their own world, but the entire galaxy. And at first the changes were small and subtle. Few people found themselves with strange abilities, heightened senses, unusual strength, and the ability to heal quickly. Scientists were baffled, but also fascinated. These awakened humans soon gathered in secret groups, learning to control their new powers and understand their place in a universe far bigger than Earth. Among the awakened was a young man named Kai, who lived in a quiet city on Earth's coast. Kai had always felt different, but never understood why. Now his vision sharpened to see things others couldn't, and his mind could process information faster than anyone else. He was soon contacted by the Ilari, who invited him to join a training program to prepare for the challenges ahead. Meanwhile, the Galactic Council grew uneasy. Earth's sudden rise in power threatened the delicate balance they had maintained for centuries. The Council debated fiercely. Should they welcome Earth as an ally or see it as a dangerous rival? Many feared that if humans fully unlocked their potential, they could upset the entire galaxy's order. Back on Earth, political leaders faced pressure from every side. Some wanted to keep Earth's new abilities secret, fearing panic and conflict. Others argued for open cooperation with the Ilari and other alien races, believing it was humanity's destiny to join the stars as equals. The situation became more complex when strange sightings and unexplained phenomena began around Earth. Ships of unknown origin appeared near Earth's orbit, but did not attack. Instead, they observed, waiting for something. Satellites and communication networks faced mysterious interference, and some of the awakened humans reported sensing a growing presence, an ancient darkness lurking at the edges of known space. Kai, now training with the Ilari, felt this darkness more strongly than others. His abilities were growing, but so was the weight of responsibility. One night during a training session, he experienced a vision, a vast shadow sweeping across the galaxy, destroying worlds, leaving silence in its wake. It was a warning, a glimpse of a threat unlike anything humanity or the Ilari had faced. Before, back on Earth, Dr. Harris and her team scrambled to decode new signals that seemed to come from this dark force. They found traces of technology far more advanced and deadly than anything known. The evidence was clear. The galaxy was on the brink of war. Amid this tension, alliances began to form. Some alien races approached Earth, hoping to join forces. Against the coming storm, others remained cautious or openly hostile, suspicious of the humans' sudden rise. In this swirling chaos, Earth's awakened humans became the planet's greatest hope. They trained, grew stronger, and learned to work together. Yet many struggled with fear and doubt. Were they ready for the responsibility? Could they protect their home in the galaxy? Kai stood on the edge of a cliff, staring at the stars. The world was changing fast. The ancient rescue had given humanity a second chance, but with that chance came great danger. The future was uncertain, and the shadows were growing. The awakening had begun. And with it, a new chapter in humanity's story was about to be written. The awakening of humanity did not go unnoticed by all in the galaxy. Far beyond Earth, in the dim light of forgotten star systems, a secret group of ancient aliens watched closely. They called themselves the Sentinels, protectors of life and keepers of balance. For centuries, they had guarded the hidden truth about humanity's rescue and waited for the moment when Earth's people would be ready. The Sentinels were powerful and mysterious. Their ships moved silently through space, their technology far older than even the Ilaris. They had seen the rise and fall of many civilizations and understood that Earth's awakening was not just a simple event, it was a turning point. In galactic history, when the Sentinels finally made contact with Earth's leaders and the awakened humans, it was both a relief and a warning. They told stories of the ancient war that nearly destroyed humanity and explained the true purpose of their rescue. Humans were chosen not just to survive, but to play a vital role in the coming struggle that would decide the fate of the galaxy. But the Sentinels' message was not easy to hear. They warned that great dangers lay ahead, forces that would stop at nothing to prevent humans from rising. The Sentinels themselves had been fighting a hidden war against dark powers that sought to control or destroy all life. Earth's leaders were unsure whether to trust the Sentinels. Their power was impressive, but their motives unclear. Some humans feared that the Sentinels might be using Earth for their own ends. Others believed they were true allies, sent to help humanity grow strong and safe. Kai, now deeper into his training, met with the Sentinel leaders in a secret base hidden on the dark side of the moon. He listened as they told of their ancient battles, of sacrifices made, and of a galaxy on the brink of collapse. They offered Earth access to their knowledge, weapons, and technology, but with it came responsibility. The Sentinels did not fight for power or glory. They fought for balance and peace. Meanwhile, tension grew among the Galactic Council. The Sentinels' involvement complicated everything. Some factions within the Council saw the Sentinels as threats. Their power rivaled the Council's own, and their support for Earth upset old alliances. The Shadow Circle, a secretive and ruthless group within the Council, began plotting to eliminate both Earth and the Sentinels before their influence spread further. Back on Earth, political divisions deepened. Some leaders wanted to embrace the Sentinels, fully trusting their guidance and technology. Others feared losing Earth's independence, worried that relying on alien powers might turn humanity into a pawn. The awakened humans found themselves caught in the middle. They were Earth's hope, but also its greatest risk. As Kai trained with the Sentinels, he realized that his role was bigger than he imagined. He was not just learning to control his powers, he was preparing to become a leader, one who could unite humans and aliens against the darkness looming in the stars. During a covert mission with Sentinel warriors, Kai witnessed the brutal reality of the hidden war. They fought against shadowy enemies who used twisted technology and dark energy to corrupt life itself. The battles were fierce and often deadly. It was clear that the coming war would not be fought with words, but with fire and sacrifice. At home, Earth prepared quietly. New fleets were built, defenses strengthened, and secret training programs expanded. The world still held its breath, not fully aware of the true dangers approaching. In one quiet moment, Kai stood beneath the night sky, feeling the weight of history and destiny on his shoulders. The rescue that had saved his ancestors was no accident. It was a call to action, a summons to rise and fight for all that was good and free in the galaxy. The Sentinels were watching. The Council was plotting. The darkness was growing, and Earth was ready to answer the call. The galaxy, once a place of vast beauty and quiet stars, was shifting into darkness. For centuries, many worlds had known peace under the watchful eyes of the Galactic Council and its hidden protectors, the Sentinels, yet beneath the surface of this fragile calm, a shadow was growing in ancient evil that had been locked away, but was now stirring once again. This was no ordinary enemy. It was a force unlike any other, one that had destroyed entire star systems in the past, leaving nothing but silence and ruin. Known only as the Voidborn, they were creatures of pure destruction, bent on consuming all life and light in the galaxy. Their power was terrifying, their technology far beyond anything the Council or Earth had ever seen, and their return was a threat to every planet, every species, and every soul that lived among the stars. For Earth, the news of the Voidborn's return was both a warning and a call to arms. Commander Michael Reyes sat quietly in the command center of Earth's newest flagship, the horizon surrounded by flickering holoscreens showing the latest intelligence reports. The weight of leadership pressed down on him. Reports came in from scouts near the outer edges of the galaxy, fleets of strange ships, cloaked and silent, moving with deadly purpose toward the core worlds. Entire systems had vanished without a trace, and the Council's forces were stretched thin, trying to hold back the wave of destruction. Earth's own borders were no longer safe. The planet, once ignored by the galaxy, now stood at the front line of a war that would decide the fate of all. The Galactic Council held an emergency session, convening in their grand hall on the planet Seraphis, a shining jewel of advanced technology and diplomacy. The room was filled with representatives from hundreds of star systems, their faces tense, their voices heavy with fear and anger. Some blamed Earth for awakening powers that might attract the Voidborn's wrath. Others argued that the Council had failed to prepare, hiding secrets and delaying action until it was almost too late. The Shadow Circle, ever the ruthless faction, pushed for an aggressive strike to eliminate Earth before the humans became a problem. But many voices called for unity, urging all species to join forces against the Voidborn threat. It was a time of chaos and distrust, but also a rare chance for cooperation. Back on Earth, the awakened humans felt the growing danger deeply. Kai, now fully immersed in his Sentinel training, sensed the darkness closing in. Abilities had grown. He could feel the pulse of the galaxy, the shifting tides of power, and the creeping presence of the Voidborn, like a cold wind across the stars. He gathered with other awakened humans in a hidden training facility carved deep beneath Earth's surface. Here, they learned not only to control their powers, but to work as a team. They practiced combat, strategy, and communication, preparing for battles they had only glimpsed in nightmares. Each day brought new challenges. Trust had to be built, fears faced, and sacrifices accepted. Scientists worked feverishly alongside the Sentinels to understand the Voidborn technology. It was unlike anything seen before. Machines that seemed alive, weapons that drained energy from entire planets, and dark matter weapons that warped space itself. The research was dangerous. Experiments sometimes ended in explosions or mysterious disappearances, yet hope remained. The Ilarian Sentinels shared ancient knowledge, helping Earth's people develop new defenses and countermeasures. A breakthrough. came when they discovered a way to shield ships from the Voidborn's draining weapons, buying precious time in battle. This small victory was celebrated, but everyone knew it was only the beginning. In the midst of preparation, Earth received a cryptic message from an unknown source, a warning wrapped in riddles. It spoke of a key hidden on an ancient planet, one that could turn the tide of war, but at a great cost. The message hinted that this key was connected to humanity's past, to the very rescue that had saved them centuries ago. Debates raged. Among Earth's leaders, was the message true or a trap set by enemies? Would the cost be too high? Commander Reyes Kai and Dr. Harris decided to investigate. Leading a covert expedition to the distant world named Nereus, shrouded in storms and mystery, the journey to Nereus was perilous. The team faced fierce cosmic storms, hostile creatures native to the planet, and the ever-present threat of voidborn patrols. When they finally landed, they discovered ruins of an ancient civilization, strangely familiar symbols, technology, that seemed to pulse with life, and a vast underground complex. As they explored, it became clear that this was the site of the original rescue, the place where the Ilari had hidden the first humans and infused them with power. Deep within the ruins, they found a glowing crystal, the key mentioned in the message. It radiated energy unlike anything seen before, and touching it, unlocked visions of the past and future, revealing the fate of humanity and the galaxy intertwined. But the discovery came with a price. The Voidborn had tracked the expedition, attacking the planet with overwhelming force. Earth's team barely escaped with the crystal, racing back to their ships while Voidborn warships bore down on them. The battle was fierce and desperate. The Voidborn's dark technology tore through Earth's defenses, but the awakened humans fought with a fury born of hope and survival. Kai used his powers to shield allies and strike down enemies, feeling the crystal's energy strengthen him. The Horizon and its fleet barely escaped the deadly assault, retreating to regroup and plan their next move back on Earth. The people greeted the returning heroes with a mix of relief and fear. The crystal's power was undeniable, but so was the Voidborn's growing strength. The Galactic Council, witnessing Earth's bravery and resourcefulness, was forced to reconsider its stance. For the first time in centuries, the fractured council agreed on a common goal: to unite against the Voidborn or face annihilation. Yet not all forces welcomed this alliance. The Shadow Circle, fearing the loss of their influence, began covert operations to sabotage Earth and its allies. Spies infiltrated governments, and assassins struck in the dark. Earth's leaders worked tirelessly to root out traitors, but paranoia and distrust spread like wildfire. The danger was not just from outside, it lurked within, threatening to tear the fragile alliance apart. Amid this turmoil, Kai emerged as a symbol of hope and unity. His visions and leadership inspired many, bridging the gap between humans and alien allies. Yet he knew that the true battle was still ahead. The Voidborn were not just enemies, they were a force of destruction unlike any before. The fate of Earth, the Council, and the entire galaxy hung in the balance. As Earth's fleet prepared for the coming war, skies filled with ships from every corner of the galaxy, Ilari sentinels, and many others who had answered the call. The stage was set for a battle that would shake the stars themselves. The awakened humans stood ready, their powers and courage tested to the limit, and in the cold depths of space, the Voidborn gathered, their dark ships like shadows ready. To swallow the light, the war for the galaxy had begun. The galaxy was no longer the peaceful place it had once seemed. Far beyond the familiar stars and the known borders of Earth's space, an ancient darkness had begun to stir, a threat so immense and terrifying that even the most powerful civilizations in the Galactic Council trembled at its name. The Voidborn, a destructive force born from the deepest shadows of the universe, had returned after centuries of exile, their hunger for destruction undiminished by time. Their ships were vast and deadly, equipped with weapons that could tear apart entire planets, and their warriors moved like ghosts, striking without warning and vanishing into the void. The warnings had come slowly at first, systems disappearing, fleets lost without a trace, signals cut off suddenly, but soon the truth became undeniable. This was no mere invasion. It was a war for the survival of all life in the galaxy. Once ignored and dismissed by many, suddenly found itself at the heart of this terrible storm. The Galactic Council convened urgently on Seraphes, its gleaming capital world, where representatives from hundreds of star systems gathered in a tense assembly that crackled with fear, anger, and desperation. Voices rose and fell in heated debate. Some blamed Earth for awakening powers that might attract the Voidborn's attention. Others insisted the Council had failed to act sooner. The Shadow Circle, a ruthless faction that thrived on control and fear, demanded immediate action, even proposing the destruction of Earth itself, believing that humanity's sudden rise was a dangerous gamble that threatened the established order. Yet many argued that the true enemy was the Voidborn, and only by uniting could the galaxy hope to survive. Meanwhile, on Earth, the awakened humans trained with growing urgency. Kai and his fellow gifted began to grasp the scale of the threat. Their abilities, once mysterious and isolated, were now a beacon of hope and a symbol of resistance. Beneath Earth's surface, in secret training centers hidden from the public eye, they practiced tirelessly, learning to use their powers not just for defense, but for war. Scientists and engineers worked side by side with the ancient Sentinels and the wise Ilari, piecing together lost technologies and developing new weapons that could stand against the Voidborn's devastating arsenal. Every breakthrough brought hope, a shield that could block the Voidborn's energy-draining attacks, a weapon capable of piercing their dark holes, but also fear. Because with each victory, the enemy grew more relentless, adapting faster than anyone expected. A cryptic message arrived from deep space, hinting at a key to victory hidden on a distant and storm-racked planet named Nereus. This key, connected to humanity's secret past, promised power beyond imagination but warned of sacrifice and danger. A small expedition led by Commander Reyes Kai, Dr. Harris was dispatched to retrieve it. Navigating through violent cosmic storms and hostile alien wildlife, all while shadowed by Voidborn scouts. The ruins they discovered on Nereus were uninspiring, ancient technology pulsing with life. Symbols that echoed the very beginnings of human history, and deep underground chambers where the rescue of humanity's ancestors had been carried. Out by the Ilari. At the heart of the ruins lay a glowing crystal, the key mentioned in the warning, radiating energy that connected past and future in ways no one fully understood. But as they prepared to leave, the Voidborn struck, unleashing a devastating assault that pushed Earth's team to the brink of annihilation. The ensuing battle tested every skill and power the humans possessed. Kai's newfound abilities surged with the crystal's energy, enabling him to shield allies and strike with precision. The Horizon, Earth's flagship, led a desperate retreat under relentless fire. When they finally escaped, their victory was bittersweet. The key was safe. But the true scale of the Voidborn threat had become clear. Back on Earth, the people waited anxiously, grappling with hope and fear. The Galactic Council, forced by Earth's bravery and growing strength, finally agreed on a fragile alliance, a united front against the Voidborn's dark tide. But shadows lurked still. The Shadow Circle plotted in silence, seeking to undermine the alliance through spies and assassins, spreading distrust and chaos. Earth's leaders worked tirelessly to root out traitors and maintain unity, but paranoia spread quickly, threatening to fracture the fragile coalition. Kai emerged as a figure of inspiration and hope, his visions of the future guiding the united forces. The battle for the galaxy was no longer just about survival, it was about the chance to forge a new future from the ashes of war. As Earth's fleets and their allies prepared for the inevitable confrontation, the stars themselves seemed to hold their breath. Somewhere in the dark reaches of space, the Voidborn gathered, their shadows stretching across the cosmos, ready to swallow the light forever. The fate of Earth, the Galactic Council, and all life in the galaxy now hung in the balance. Poised on the edge of a war that would change everything. The victory in the first great battle brought hope to Earth and its allies, but peace was fragile, and trust even more so. As the galaxy prepared for the next clash against the Voidborn, dark forces began to stir not only outside the walls of Earth's defenses, but deep within the ranks of its own allies. The Galactic Council, once a symbol of unity, had become a battlefield of secrets, lies, and betrayal. Among the many races and factions gathered to fight the common enemy, some hid their own agendas. Old fears and grudges did not vanish overnight. Instead, they grew beneath the surface, poisoning cooperation and sowing suspicion. The most dangerous threat now was not just the Voidborn, but the enemies lurking inside, traitors who would sell out their own to gain power or favor. Earth's leaders felt the unease keenly. Meetings that once focused on strategy and survival became riddled with accusations and doubts. Commander Michael Reyes noticed strange irregularities in communication lines and security breaches within the fleet's command systems. Reports of missing personnel and unexplained failures in weapons systems raised alarms. Someone was sabotaging the efforts from within, but who? The suspicion fell on many rival alien factions, dissenting members of the Council, even humans themselves. Paranoia spread quickly, dividing the alliance when it needed unity most. Kai, now a seasoned leader among the awakened humans, found himself at the center of these tensions. His unique powers made him a target for both admiration and envy. Some within the Council whispered that Earth's growing influence was dangerous, that humans were becoming too powerful too fast. The Shadow Circle, the secretive faction that had long sought control, began to exploit these fears. They spread rumors that the awakened humans were a threat, capable of turning on their allies at any moment. Shadow agents infiltrated Earth's government and military, gathering intelligence and waiting for the right moment to strike. Amid this growing storm, a shocking betrayal occurred. One of Earth's closest alien allies, a race known as the Varelians, was revealed to be working secretly with the Voidborn. Their spies had been feeding information to the enemy, sabotaging missions, and weakening Earth's defenses. The revelation sent shockwaves through the alliance. Trust shattered like glass, and fear gripped every heart. How many others were traitors? Could Earth survive not only the Voidborn's attacks but also the treachery within? Kai and Commander Reyes acted quickly. They ordered an investigation to root out the traitors and secure Earth's defenses. Using Kai's powers to detect hidden enemies and advanced technology from the Sentinels, they uncovered a complex web of spies and saboteurs. Some were captured and brought to justice. Others escaped into the shadows, still dangerous. The betrayal had weakened Earth's position, but it had also forced the Alliance to confront its vulnerabilities and rally tighter together. Despite the chaos, Earth's awakened humans grew stronger and more united. They trained harder, learning to protect themselves and each other, not only from outside enemies, but also from the threats lurking inside. Kai became a symbol of resilience and hope, reminding everyone that only through trust and courage could they overcome the darkness. Meanwhile, the Voidborn pressed their advantage. They launched fierce attacks on vulnerable systems, exploiting the confusion caused by the betrayal. Entire colonies fell, and refugee ships streamed toward Earth's defenses. The war was growing bloodier and more desperate. The Alliance struggled to hold the line, but the cost was mounting. In secret, Kai and a small team worked on a plan to strike at the heart of the Voidborn's power. Using intelligence gathered despite the betrayal, they identified a critical command station deep within enemy territory, a place that controlled the Voidborn's dark fleets and weapons. Destroying it could cripple the enemy's ability to wage war. But the mission would be dangerous, requiring stealth, strength, sacrifice. As Earth prepared for this bold attack, tensions remained high. Leaders watched each other warily, old, wounds still raw. But the awakened humans, united in purpose and power, stood ready to lead the charge. They knew the path ahead was perilous. But they also knew that survival depended on facing both the enemy and the shadows within. The battle for trust had begun, and the fate of Earth and the galaxy depended on who would stand strong and who would fall. The plan was simple, but deadly. Earth's best warriors, led by Kai and Commander Michael Reyes, would travel deep into the Voidborn's territory to destroy their command station, the heart of their dark power. It was a mission few believed could succeed, but they had no choice. The longer the Voidborn ruled the shadows, the more worlds they would destroy. The fate of the galaxy depended on this strike. Preparation was intense. The team trained endlessly, mastering stealth tactics. New weapons forged from Sentinel and Ilari designs, and the awakened humans' unique powers. The strike force was small but elite, a blend of humans, Ilari, Sentinels, and a few other trusted allies who shared Earth's vision. Trust was fragile, but necessity forced them to stand together as they boarded their stealth ships. The weight of the mission settled on every soul. They knew the dangers. The Voidborn's territory was a labyrinth of traps, patrols, and dark energy fields that drained life itself. Their enemies would fight with ruthless skill, defending their command station at all costs. Failure meant not just death for the team, but a devastating blow to the entire alliance. Kai looked around at his comrades, feeling a strange mix of fear and resolve. The power of the ancient crystal thrummed within him, connecting him to the team and to the very stars they traveled through. It was a beacon of hope and a warning. The journey through enemy space was tense and silent. Ships slipped past sensors and patrols, weaving through asteroid fields and shadowed nebulae. The farther they went, the darker the void became, as if the very light was being swallowed by the Voidborn's presence. When the command station finally came into view, it was like a black star, enormous, pulsing with energy that twisted space around it, surrounded by a fleet of warships ready to strike. The team felt the weight of its power pressing down, but they steeled themselves. Now was the moment. Their first challenge was to breach the station's outer defenses. The Voidborn's shields were unlike any Earth's technology. They shimmered, with a dark light, absorbing energy and regenerating faster than expected. The strike force split into small teams, launching precise attacks designed to disable shield generators and clear a path inside. The battle was brutal. Voidborn fighters swarmed in waves, their weapons crackling with dark energy that burned through armor and drained strength. Kai used his powers to protect his team, creating shields that flickered but held against the onslaught. The Ilarian Sentinels fought with disciplined skill, their ancient weapons cutting through enemy ranks. Slowly, painfully, they pushed forward. Inside the station, the environment was alien and hostile. Corridors twisted and pulsed with strange energy, the air thick with a darkness that seeped into the mind. The team faced traps and guardians, living machines powered by the Voidborn's dark force. Each step forward was a battle of will and strength. Kai's visions guided them through the maze, warning of danger and showing glimpses of the station's core. The closer they got, the stronger the enemy's presence became. At the heart of the station was the command core, a massive chamber filled with a swirling mass of dark energy. It's the source of the Voidborn's power and control. The team knew this was the target. Destroying it would cripple the enemy's fleets and give the galaxy a chance to breathe. But as they prepared to strike, they faced the station's final defense, the Voidborn High Commander, a being of terrible power and dark will. The commander challenged Kai and his team, wielding energy that twisted reality and drained hope.
Out.
The battle was fierce and desperate, testing every ounce of skill and courage. Kai's connection to the crystal flared, amplifying his powers, and with the help of his team, he managed to weaken the commander. In a final explosive moment, Kai unleashed a surge of energy that shattered the core, the commander's hold on the station. The destruction rippled through the Voidborn's network. Ships faltered, dark energy collapsed, and communication broke down. The strike force barely escaped the exploding station, racing back through enemy territory as the Voidborn fleet reeled in confusion and rage. Their victory was a beacon of hope, proof that even the darkest forces could be challenged. But the cost was heavy. Many brave warriors had fallen, and the battle had only fueled the Voidborn's fury. Back on Earth, the news of the strikes? Success spread quickly, sparking celebrations and renewed determination. Yet, Kai knew the war was far from over. The Voidborn would return, stronger and more dangerous. The galaxy's future remained uncertain, balanced on the edge of hope and despair. As Kai looked to the stars that night, he understood the true meaning of the fight ahead. It was not just about war, but about the choice to protect what was good and light in the universe. The awakening of humanity was a beacon in the darkness, a promise that even in the deepest shadow, hope could shine bright. The galaxy held its breath. After years of war, betrayal, and sacrifice, the final battle loomed on the horizon. Earth and its allies stood stronger now, their fleets rebuilt, their spirits hardened, and their resolve unbreakable. Kai, the young awakened human, who had risen from a boy unsure of his place to a symbol of hope for all species, stood on the command deck of the horizon, watching the stars with a steady gaze. The ancient crystal's energy pulsed softly at his side, a reminder of the power and responsibility he carried. The war with the Voidborn had changed everything, not only the fate of humanity, but the future of the entire galaxy. The last great battle would decide if light or darkness would rule the stars. Allies from distant worlds gathered, their ships forming a vast armada that stretched across space like a wall of hope and strength. The Galactic Council, once fractured by fear and distrust, now stood united, but the scars of betrayal still lingered. The Shadow Circle had been weakened, but not destroyed, and whispers of dissent echoed in hidden corners. Still, the call for peace and unity was louder than ever. Earth's leaders worked tirelessly to build bridges between species, hoping that the horrors of war would teach even the most stubborn that survival depended on trust and cooperation. The Voidborn, battered but unyielding, gathered their remaining forces. Their monstrous warships darkened the void, and their warriors prepared for a final, desperate assault. Their goal was simple: to crush the Alliance and consume all light in the galaxy. The stakes had never been higher. Every commander knew that failure meant extinction, not just for Earth, but for every world. As the two fleets closed in, the vastness of space became a battleground of light and shadow. Explosions lit up the darkness, weapons fire streaked like stars falling from the sky, and ships clashed with a fury born of survival. Kai fought at the front lines, his powers blazing with the crystal's energy, shielding allies and striking down enemies. With precision and strength, the awakened humans were everywhere, their abilities turning the tide time and again. But the Voidborn had learned, adapting to new tactics and pushing their dark powers to terrifying limits amid the chaos. Kai faced the Voidborn's new leader, a being more powerful and cruel than any before. Their battle was more than physical. It was a clash of wills and destinies. The Voidborn sought to snuff out the light of hope that Kai represented, while Kai fought to protect everything he loved. The duel stretched across the battlefield, shaking ships and shaking souls. In the final moments, Kai drew on the crystal's full power, unleashing a blast that shattered the enemy and sent ripples through the Voidborn's fleet. The darkness began to break. With their leader defeated and their forces in chaos, the Voidborn fled into the depths of space, leaving behind shattered ships and silent worlds. The galaxy was scarred but free. Earth's victory was a beacon to all, a proof. Even the smallest light could conquer the greatest darkness. As the fleets returned home, celebrations erupted across planets. Families reunited, songs were sung, and new alliances were forged. Kai stood before the Galactic Council, not as a soldier, but as a representative of humanity, a race reborn from the shadows, ready to take its place among the stars as a protector and a friend. But Kai knew the journey was just beginning. The scars of war would take time to heal, and many questions remained. How would the galaxy rebuild? What new challenges would arise? Could peace truly last in a universe filled with so much unknown? For now, though, there was hope. The awakening of humanity had changed the course of history. From the ashes of destruction, a new era dawned, one of unity, courage, and endless possibilities. Kai looked up at the stars, feeling the pulse of life and light around him. The future was uncertain, but it was theirs to shape. together, Earth. And the galaxy would face whatever came next, stronger, wiser, and united. The darkness had been defeated. But the light of hope would shine forever.